that was a fun process, getting to see everyone's takes on these characters that I wrote. It's always interesting when you get to see, what people do with the words that you write.
We had a super, super, super short timeline to do that. And so we really had to narrow down kind of like, okay, what exactly are we looking for each of these roles? And when I read the script at first and, was kind of getting a grasp on Rose and who she was and what she would be bringing to the table, I could not help but think about Caitlin.
Rose, 19, sits on her bed, painting her toenails. She's pretty, timid, doesn't look like she has a mean bone in her body.
I was 17 when I was kidnapped.
What?
He took me out into the woods and hunted me like a fucking animal.
She did audition for the role. There were several people that auditioned for the role, but there's just something so doll-like about Caitlin's face and her body type and her skin. She just looks like a little porcelain doll. She's stunningly beautiful, and she's got these big, gorgeous eyes. When she read her audition and she was reading for Rose, I was like, yes, she looks innocent and naive and like someone that would make sense. Like, we want to take care of her. We should protect her. There's no way that she could be involved in any of the things that are going on. But the beautiful thing about Caitlin as an actor is that she is able to take this sweet, innocent, ingenue face and twist it into something truly disturbing.
My first impression of the script was that it was very unique and very fun, and I really felt a connection to Rose's character from the first time that I read the script. I knew that I definitely wanted to audition for the film. I was excited to be a part of the project in any way, but particularly I felt very called to Rose, and so I'm very glad that I got to bring her to life.
Come in, come in.
Hi, Dr. Richardson. Glad I made it in before the storm.
She just brought so much innocence and youth to that character that was needed for the lighter times, basically, for when Rose is Rose. All of her choices and her instincts as that character were just spot on, and she is the definition of talent. I knew that the character was so important to the film that if we didn't cast the right person or they did not bring it on set, that we were doomed. And so when I saw her first few scenes the first day, I was just really excited. I was like, this is gonna be good.
The next obvious hurdle was Dr. Richardson.
We're in the middle of a therapy session with Rose and her therapist, Dr. Nathaniel Richardson, late 40s. He's warm and inviting.
When you first assumed this identity, you murdered a girl from school. You brought her here and then hunted her down just like the man that took you. I covered for you. There was no way I was going to let you pay for that. You weren't in your right state of mind.
This character is so multifaceted. I work in a professional setting. I'm a father, and I am approachable and non-threatening, but also I will literally kill people to accomplish my goals. That is not an easy thing to find. It's not an easy thing to bring to life.
We saw a few different individuals for Dr. Richardson, but when I saw Alex's self-tape, I really got a sense that he was your typical dad, and that is important. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on with that character, and he is pretending to be something he's not, and we're not quite sure if he's a villain. What is he there for? In the beginning, we just don't know. And then as the story unfolds, you realize that he is actually doing everything that he's doing in order to bring his daughter back. So seeing his audition, he just exuded such father energy, I would say, that he was perfect for the role.
When I first went through the script, I was obviously just jumping from scene to scene to see what Dr. Richardson had going on. And as I did that, I would not be aware of the plot twist that had happened between scenes. And so eventually I just had to go back and read the whole thing from start to finish. It's like, man, this is going to be a thrill ride for sure. When Cody told me that he had 4 days to do it, and I'm thinking, what? Okay. It was nerve-wracking, but at the same time, everyone was working so well together on set that it was a lot of fun. Everybody worked so well together and not let little things disrupt the whole schedule. But it was pretty daunting at the same time because that's a lot of script to learn, a lot of characters to figure out.
There's this one moment at the end of the film when he's giving the monologue explaining to her who he is and what he's doing, etc. His voice kind of quivers a little bit and he says,
I just want my daughter back.
in that moment, I believed that. I believed him, like, wholeheartedly.
Remember what you said? You wanted to do to him what he did to you. Only this time, he doesn't get away.
While Alex is not insane, he's actually a great person. He was able to kind of take that truth and genuine part of him and then think about, okay, well, what if I were to push this to the extreme? What if I were to be so obsessed with one goal that I were willing to do whatever it took to get there?
And then just to have Alex on set and meeting him for the first time and seeing his work ethic and, you know, all the questions that he had for us and all of the things that he wanted to know about the project, even beyond his role. He's just very dedicated, and you can tell he just really enjoys being on a film set. It was just a joy to work with. Very kind and giving and humble, and definitely someone I would want to work with in the future.
Out of the kitchen walks Clara Richardson, late 40s, strikingly beautiful, but bottling resentment. We read this immediately.
I wouldn't go upstairs without calling first. He sleeps like a log. But if I hear something in the middle of the night, being tired and forgetting that we have guests, well, you just never know what might happen.
Clara Richardson was super intriguing to me from the very beginning because she is the wife of a renowned psychiatrist, and she is a mother. And, you know, at first, we're not really sure what she's got going on. There's a hint of something sinister almost, or protective in a way that you're not really sure what she's going for.
I'll be right back.
And then, you know, throughout the course of the film, she also is pushed to her extreme for like what she would do for her child.
With Jennifer, I bought it from the moment I saw her audition. She really brought so much humanity to that character that I think if it was put into the wrong hands, you would have left the film still believing she was just cold and had no purpose.
Jennifer brought true life to Clara's character in a way that made not only her character, but the film itself even more dynamic and twisty and psychological.
I can't do this anymore. I cannot live like this, Nathaniel. You have ruined our lives. You have ruined our family.
She put so much strength and humility into that role. She was the perfect choice for it. And also, she was just a joy to work with. You know, I was sad that she only got to be on set for 2 days.
I mean,
I've left at this point.
I'm not going to move. I'm just going to sit here.
Do you mind going?
Is everything covered up?
Give me a little bit more fresh.
My first impression of the script, I was actually quite intrigued. I thought it was really well written, right? I thought that there were some interesting plot twists and turns. I also loved my character's humanity. She's not one-dimensional, actually. There's a lot of truth to who she is as a mother, a wife, all these different facets to her. And I there was a lot of empathy there for her, even though she might not be the best person. I found Yeah, I found a lot of humanity in her actually, and I was really curious to see what that would be like to explore.
You know you're gonna flood your engines doing that.
This can't be happening.
Would you like me to take a look?
You must be Patrick, the handyman, huh?
Yep, handyman, mechanic, gardener, assistant. Anything Dr. Richardson needs me to be, so.
Patrick was one of those instances where when I was writing it, I was absolutely thinking of a previous actor. So I knew writing it that I wanted Jordan. I knew that he would be able to play the different faces of this character. But again, we had to make sure that we auditioned people. We wanted to give other people the opportunity. We wanted to see if anyone else could bring something to that role that I hadn't maybe thought of before. There was just no one else that really brought what Jordan brought to the table. I feel like you can give him any role, you can write any role for him, and he's going to fully execute it. There was a couple times we had to throw him in as crew.
Yep. Scene 1 Alpha, take 1.
For a couple scenes, just because someone on the crew couldn't be there at that time. He's just always willing to jump in and help and do what's needed to make a great product, and you don't find that in all of your actors.
So I first met Jordan on the set of Jealousy, where we played opposite each other. He is such a genuinely nice human being. He just has this ability to make everyone feel really comfortable. That, and he kills it as an actor. He has this ability to kind of step into the role, step into the shoes of the characters that he's playing. And every character that he plays, like, you see little parts of him in it, and yet they're all so uniquely their own. It was really interesting going from acting alongside him in scenes to directing him, and just the growth that he's experienced from that first set to this one.
We're talking about who can sell ham and who can't.
Can you sell ham?
I cannot sell ham.
My first impressions of reading the script, and it's pretty much my first impressions of reading any of the Cody scripts, I'm like, what the heck? He sent it to me sometime in the early morning, like it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I remember sitting, it was pitch black in my room, just reading it. And just like going over I'm not sure how many pages, like 100 pages. I was there for like an hour and a half, just like reading this thing and just like diving so much into depth about these things. And every time I saw my character Patrick's name pop up, I was like, oh, like I was like so excited. But then things started to unravel, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Cody, why do you do all these like crazy stories? And like there's so many twists and turns. There's like 30 turns. It always finds a way back to the track, and like it always connects. I enjoyed it. I love reading it for the first time. It's like you're watching it, you also get a taste of like, that's a good twist. It always gets me excited to like get on set and actually start playing this character. And like as soon as I read it, I'm like, okay, let me dive into this character and figure out how to make him the best. So it's always fun.
What?
My keys and phone are upstairs.
You must be fucking kidding me.
I set them on the kitchen table. She made me tea. Didn't drug me though, not that I can feel anyway. I didn't realize I was doing an actual rescue mission here.
Tawny was another one where I had an actor in mind. I had worked with Cheyenne Puga on Finding Power. She came on board and stepped into a role and just nailed it. So when I was coming up with that character, I definitely was thinking of her. I felt that raw emotion that, this girl was kidnapped, and you see her real personality come through. And that's who Tawny is. And Cheyenne did that instinctually, and it worked.
I always make fun of the idiots who trip for nothing in movies.
There are people who, even going through traumatic events, bring out like their humor and their vulnerability in those ways. And that's kind of how I am in real life. I can laugh through stressful situations. And so I really liked that choice because it just made that character three-dimensional, and that character's only on screen for a couple scenes. And so to be able to have that kind of impact in such a small time is just awesome to see. And Cheyenne did that beautifully.
There's so many twists and turns, which is one of the reasons I wanted to be a part of it. But I've also worked with Cody before and had a great time. So I thought this was another great opportunity to work with him again. I was very shocked to learn that a feature film was going to be shot in 4 days, but they made it happen. And I was only on set 1 day, but my time on set was pretty smooth and they got it done. So props to them. That's incredible.
she did a great job and was great to have on set. She is a steady, kind presence, and that's absolutely what you need on a film set. And so it was really great to have her on set as Tawny. And, you know, the friendship that she has with Caitlin off screen, I think really allowed there to be a sort of depth between the two of them in their scenes, to where right away you sort of feel that camaraderie between them. And I think that was really important for Tawny's character, to be able to have that sort of connection so that we really feel that on screen.
Cut. Y'all hear Rose snap that twig?
Amanda Dowswell, who plays Britt. Amanda is someone that I worked with previously on Jealousy. She is immensely talented, and she has a strong work ethic. She comes to set prepared, and she's another one of those that is just so kind and so giving and willing to do whatever it takes to make a great project. You'll never see her complain about anything she has to do, and she fully commits to the roles that she's playing. For this film, she was going to have a really small role, but I kind of likened it to Scream, the Drew Barrymore role, opening the film. Again, another role that's very small, only on screen for 2 scenes, and she really shines. Obviously, when the film opens, it's just her running and screaming and getting killed, and so you're like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna see this person again. And then, you see her later in the film to kind of explain what happened there.
Oh my God, Jennifer?
It's just so believable as this, college girl that's just walking to class or walking from class and runs into this girl she knows, and she's curious as to what happened to her. Anything you give Amanda, she's going to bring authenticity to it. And definitely in the future, I want her to lead one of my films, because I know that she can, and I know that she will bring so much to that film.
That is a wrap on Jennifer's character of Miss Kitty.
All right, that is a picture wrap on Mr. Jordan Pope. That is a picture wrap on Amanda Dowswell. Thank you. That's a wrap on Cheyenne Puga. That is a picture wrap on Alex Haynes. Woo! I wish we had the whole crew here to cheer you on, because you did amazing. That is a picture wrap on Caitlin.
Thank you. My most flattering.
Woo!
And that is a wrap on Rose's last session